This business class flight usually costs $8,000, but I booked it for only $550. Stick around to see a review of the food, the lounges, and everything else that ANA has to offer. And at the end, I'll break down the total cost and how I was able to book this flight. Our journey starts in Washington Dulles Airport, where we then take about 12.5 hours to fly all the way to Tokyo Haneda. Like all good trips I take, I started this one sleeping in the airport to save some money. I was able to get into the Turkish lounge and the Virgin Atlantic lounge. The food was okay, and I was able to take a shower in the Turkish lounge, but the amenities were really nothing compared to ANA Lounge in Haneda. That is the biggest lounge with the best facilities ever. The showers were super clean, just like pretty much everything in Japan. The food was amazing. It's all complimentary. They even have a ramen bar. Everything you see in this lounge, in this video, including all the alcohol, is completely complimentary to any passenger with a business class ticket or above. So I hung out there for about 4.5 hours before my flight, trying to make the most of my last few hours in Japan. With all of our pre-flight fun out of the way, let's go ahead and board the plane. Today I was on the R2-D2 plane. I didn't even know this existed before I looked out the window and saw it before I boarded. Speaking of boarding, here we are in our business class seat. These seats are arranged in a 1-2-1 configuration. Each seat has loads of space, their own personal desk, a light, an outlet. You also get an amenity kit and a set of slippers that you can keep, in addition to all of the bedding that you can use when you convert your seat into a lie flat bed. Before we even take off, the flight attendants come around the cabin and take your order for your drink of choice. We are flying in luxury, of course, so drinks are included for the entire duration of the flight.
この飛行機は
One thing I found interesting about this flight was how none of the windows actually had shades on them. They did, however, have a dimmer button you could press, which would affect the opacity of the window. Flying business also comes with in-flight meals included. When you book your ticket, you're able to pre-order your meal selection online. These were the vegetarian options for the flight. It is important to note that the options for meals vary depending on whether you're flying from North America to Asia or from Asia back to North America. The meals were very flavorful and fresh and had a decent variety, although I could not tell you what this is. All in all, everything they served was definitely tasty, and if I were stuck on a flight for 12 hours, I would eat it again. Now, the ANA cuisine really shines on the flights within Asia. Here we have some sesame oil noodles that were quite tasty, and then the star of the show, some tofu and fried mushrooms. Absolutely delicious. You can't tell me this is not the fanciest airplane bathroom ever. You get an in-flight heated bidet, not to mention free toothbrush, toothpaste, mouthwash, all that good stuff. A window. Yes, this is the bathroom. And 2 mirrors. At this point, I just kicked back, relaxed, watched the clouds roll by, and got ready to catch some sleep. These seats can be reclined into beds with the simple push of a button. I wake up a few hours later and I'm offered some tea and fruit, as well as my full breakfast. I don't know what this is, but it was definitely tasty. I finished all of it. I liked it a whole lot better than whatever this was that they served me on the way back. I still finished it, but it was definitely an interesting choice for a breakfast. So now that we're arriving into Tokyo, let's talk about how I booked this flight. Here's where things get a little interesting. I booked this using ANA award points that I transferred over from American Express. I'll link a podcast called The Daily Churn, who goes into extreme detail on everything you need to know in order to book this flight. Now, for me, I kind of clickbaited you. The total cost was $558 in taxes and fuel surcharge. However, I also had to pay 85,000 American Express points, which I could have cashed out at 0.08 cents per point. Although, if you remember the price tag from the beginning of this video, I think I got more than a fair deal. Hope you found this interesting. I've got several more trip reports and training related videos in the works, so hopefully those will be posted soon.